snap your finger. That gets them to look over there. That is misdirection.
Marvel, be filled with wonder or astonishment. Hello everyone! Welcome back finally to yet another installment of Placeholder. To the surprise of most, I'm back. And to the dismay of many more, I haven't yet quit this endeavor. Not just yet. Also a shock to none, we still haven't found a name. Perhaps it's best as not to reveal my secret identity. Although that may be more of a DC concept. Say, have you guys ever seen these Marvel movies? Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding, I know you have. Literally everyone has to have, whether they've wanted to or not. It's on our screens, in our food, and on our band-aids. And in legal court cases to sue dead children for using the likeness of Spider-Man on their gravestones. How heroic. I think for the most part we all know about Marvel as a whole. So much so, I won't even name drop Stan Lee or Jack Kirby. Consider those name drops as a cameo for the rest of this video. And although the company, Marvel, has had its hands in all forms of media over the years, I'm going to focus on the most mainstream and well-known creation that has been talked about to death on this site since its conception 3 decades ago. That's right, folks, we're talking about the MCU. The multi-movie, and now show, series with several story and character arcs in a connected universe. It was ambitious then, and it is kind of now. But this does beg the question. What possible reason do I have to come here today on my channel and talk about the MCU today in the year 2025? Oh well... another f***ing guy talking about the MCU on the internet. Listen, I'm new here, I'm late to the party, and I've been watching the MCU for a majority of my life. You want to know which ones are my favorite? Here, there you go. Iron Man came out in 2008. That and the 2007 Transformers movies shifted my taste in media for me forever, because, unfortunately, I really care too much about this stupid little series. All of this exposition just to say that I have a lot to say about this project. And because this is my channel, that's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna mostly be a combination of observations and hot takes on several things both in and outside of the MCU. So to start off with the coldest take of the day, I'll say what we're all thinking. This should have ended at Endgame. Now, I'm fully aware that that was never going to happen. Marvel is an everlasting cash river for Disney. There's never a timeline where they ended the MCU at the peak of its popularity. But wouldn't it have been nice? I remember when they rolled out Disney Plus and announced the millions of new projects that, in hindsight, were never going to be made. And as we're actually finding out, is probably for the best. Turns out there's nothing that exhausts people more from a franchise like mediocre products. Not to say Marvel hasn't put out some good content since Endgame. It's just... yeah. Most egregiously, in my opinion, they did almost fumble Daredevil. Not even going to begin to get started on that. I did hear that Thunderbolts was good though. Now, unfortunately, my Marvel fatigue just started to subside. You see, I've been watching a whole lot of older Marvel movies lately. Trying to check out ones I haven't seen yet, like the Marvels, or ones I haven't seen in a long time, or as much as I have with the other ones. Case in point, I just rewatched The Winter Soldier. Quick review, a good one, definitely one of the top 10, at least maybe top 5, who's to say. Anyway, and between the stuff I like and dislike, it's the first time in a while that I've actually been wanting to see more. And I missed Thunderbolts in theaters, so instead I checked out that Brave New World movie. Alright, this is the part of the video where my takes slowly get hotter and harder, so I'm just going to call this chunk of the video Finding Good in the Bad section. Why? Well, to start us off, I did not mind A Brave New World. Like, it wasn't great, but the way it was described to me is it sounded like it was going to be on par with this shit. And honestly, this was decently fun. Although, it is weird that they gave Sam America 2 Hulk villains to fight, had his Hulk wife show up, and showed his big green ass on screen, but Hulk is absent. Seems like a missed opportunity to me. This isn't a review video, however. It's more of a mindless train of thought. My point being that, like A Brave New World, many of these projects get absolutely demolished by fans and general audiences all the time, like Since Forever, where only like a few of these are really, truly heinous. My case in point, The Dark World. That shit was ass. But Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't like that bad. Plot, whatever. Story, stupid, and villains, forget about it. I already have. But I will always remember this to be the only MCU movie with close-up magic.
You're getting good at that.
How'd you do that?
And although talking about Ant-Man would segue into my next chunk of this video fairly well, instead I'll simply cap this off with what is likely the hottest take made so far within this video, along with the channel as a whole. That's right, I lied! My favorite movie in the MCU is not actually Iron Man 3, it's actually this one. For real, I'm not, there is no bit. It's Age of Ultron. Wait! Let me explain. Guys, in this movie, there's a robot. Yeah, look, I can't really explain myself here. I get that. I really just like this movie because Ultron says cool stuff. Sometimes. It obviously suffers from ye old Marvel quip machine. A literal one, in fact. And maybe it fumbles a whole lot of potential. But because there's no chance for us to get a real remake of this movie, I'm just gonna enjoy what they left for us. You see, I have a soft spot in my heart for Ultron outside of just the MCU. Mostly because he's a relentless evil robot. Also, there's no Ant-Man in this movie. What a shame. Listen, I don't think every Marvel movie has to be tightly written and perfect, you know what I mean? Sure, it is an Avengers movie, it probably should be better, but, you know, it isn't. So instead, I just enjoy the character interactions and dialogue. I think it's cool how angry everyone is in the middle of this movie. It feels like the team adopts Ultron's energy. Then once Vision, the super pure character, shows up, they get their act together. I like that when Tony's trying to fix the world on his own, he keeps messing it up even worse. And that when the whole team collaborates, quote unquote, onto fixing an issue, it actually turns out to be a really good thing. I like when Ultron wakes up and he acts like an angry Vision. It's great symbolistically. I like how Ultron's body has a cool progression throughout the movie, where he starts off as a tattered up, broken Iron Man suit, and he uses the visage of Iron Man as his first battle, and that he slowly upgrades himself to become more and more handsome. And I like that when he gets his ultimate, like, handsome face stolen from him, he doubles down and he becomes an even bigger monster. And then his last body becomes stripped back down to his sad, tattered self, and gets killed by his best self. It's peak. It hurts my soul, what can I say? Honestly, I can go on about Ultron for a while, and I'm sure I've got even more horrid opinions on the topic. But for now, I digress. Let me wrap this back around to a far more important storytelling sin, as well as going back to old Ant-Man. You're probably wondering, placeholder, what the hell else could anybody on this planet possibly say more about Ant-Man? Now, I know people have touched on this topic before, but they haven't ever dived into it as much as I think that they should have, because there is a rampant problem with the MCU where they just kind of stop giving a shit about how their characters are written. Now, this is a phenomenon that plagues all types of media and shows and long-running series, where characters kind of stop being, you know, written as characters, as they become kind of a parody of themselves later down the line. But in the case of the MCU, I once again present Ant-Man. Specifically, Scott whatever, I can't remember his name, was it? Scott Lang. Scott Lang. Yes, in the first Ant-Man, he's kind of written pretty well. I mean, it's, again, not the best, but he's written, you know, kind of competent, and he understands what's going on, and he knows what he's doing. But skip ahead after he fights Captain America or some shit in Germany, and he's just kind of stupid now in Ant-Man and the Wasp, besides the card tricks, but it's just very one note, and they turn Scott's character into a bumbling idiot. And he is not the only character who gets this horrible treatment. Like Thor. Thor goes from being really weird to really cool to being just a parody of himself. From Ragnarok to, what was that, Love and Thunder? If you watch all the movies featuring Iron Man back to back, you can tell that he's just, for some reason, an asshole. Sometimes, like, not, I mean, I know he's an asshole all the time, that's kind of part of his character, but usually it's for a purpose. Like in his own movies, or, you know, Endgame and Infinity War, he's an asshole for a reason, but in Avengers 1, he's just kind of a douche. Or old Steve Rogers. I feel bad for this guy because in the Avengers movies, or in his own movies, he has like super emotional, like character-driven thoughts and emotions and moments. Whereas in the Avengers, he's just written to be the guy who's always morally right. And yes, I understand that is his base character, but usually there's more nuance to it and he gives a better explanation. And he does have some sick one-liners in Age of Ultron. Goated movie, by the way. Which is interesting because Infinity War and Endgame actually have the best character writing and like arcs in the MCU because, you know, they kind of have to because those were like the big events, so they kind of had to be really good. And that's when all these characters are at their best. Even the Guardians don't escape this because when they're in Endgame or Infinity War, they're kind of just goofball dumbasses. And again, they're still kind of goofball dumbasses in their own movie, but it's like a parody of it. You see what I'm saying here? It's just really weird. It's just really weird to see them like movie to movie because I know that's how you people watch them. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe it doesn't really matter that much. But hey, that's the nature of time. They gotta get you people coming back somehow, and I'm sure they'll throw anything at the wall, including their own characters. I did hear, however, that Thunderbolts was good. Maybe I'll check that out one of these days. I don't know. Wowee, what a video. My favorite part was when I didn't talk about that movie, The Thunderbolts. I heard it was good, though. There's a possibility that I'll go deeper in depth about a few of these movies in the future, but considering literally everybody on this platform has done a far better job than I have, it's not in my immediate future. What is part of my immediate future, however, is trying to wrap up this video. That and a very exciting announcement. And I know I said a little bit of this in the last one, but I'm going to say it here again. I've got a podcast. For real. I'm not joking. I told you I'm a real YouTuber, you guys. That's right. A podcast before I've even named myself. I should be fired. Or maybe banned. Anyway, me and a friend of mine, DK On Air, have decided to start an educational podcast to teach the masses and spread whatever the opposite of misinformation is, in order to make sure that you get the right education for whatever you aim to accomplish in your life. This podcast should be considered to be more of a pod class. A class to get your PhD in, which is, in fact, the name of our podcast. PhD. It's the PhD podcast. Like because placeholder, I'm placeholder and he's DK. PhD. PhD K? Whatever. If you like the content that I shit out occasionally on this channel, then you'll probably like what we're doing over there. And if you don't like it, then the good news is that I get to fail you and feel really good about myself. I'll leave a link in the description for not only the podcast, but also for DK himself. We've already got a small catalog on there for you to check out and see if you like what you see. Or hear. I guess that's a better way to say it. Now, something I'd say that is significantly more important. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And most importantly, my dad. I couldn't rot on this couch I'm on without his love and support. Love you, Dad. Sorry it turned out green. Alright, folks. Thanks for watching another extremely life-changing video posted on the most entertaining channel on the internet. If you liked this video, go check out my other stuff. And if you didn't, go f*** yourself, huh? Finally, an episode of the channel that I got through without anybody interrupting me. Don't forget to like and or subscribe, or maybe both this time. Is that too much to ask? Hug your dad, watch a movie, check out the PhD podcast, and stick around, because next time we're talking about gay frogs. Okay, goodbye! Oh, hello everybody, my name is Markiplier, and I just need to make sure my microphone, it sounds good. Series with several story arcs, which I'll